Hey everyone, Ryan Young, Kama Jiu-Jitsu. Hope you're doing well. I know you've all heard of that term, phrase, sentence, whatever you want to call it, checking your ego at the door. It's been a cliche because it's been used so many times. And I think the significance of the meaning has been lost because nobody really listens to it. When you tell someone, hey, don't let that ego get you in trouble, what do? They then go and spaz and try to then attack you after saying, oh yeah, you're right, I'm not going to, because it doesn't help me. So the reason why I guess that expression came out is because you'd have these big old strong guys, a lot of them wrestlers, they come into jiu-jitsu and they just want to smash because wrestling is very high intensity, go very hard, balls to the wall all the time. And there's a lot of speed and a lot of explosion involved, whereas jiu-jitsu, you can do that, but it's not the general way to do that. So what we do is we tend to slow it down so that we can learn our technique. And then we just, roll, as we say, right? Just make it kind of fun. Just make it to where you can have a good rolling session with someone where no ego is involved. Don't care if I beat you or you beat me. But realistically, why are we doing this? We're doing this so that we can be better. So we can, I started it because I just wanted to fight. Now, I didn't want to fight in a cage or a ring or anything like that. I quickly got rid of that thought. And the reason is because I tend to think logically, and sometimes it's to my detriment. And one of the things I'd kind of always think about when it came to opportunities to fight in a ring is, what if I get injured, right? What about what if I end up in the hospital? Who's going to pay for that? I wasn't sure if my medical insurance from work was going to cover that because it's not work related. Now, it probably will cover it, but I certainly would lose time at work, thereby cutting into my income. So for me, my ego didn't go that far to make me think and want to fight in a cage. Just really wasn't my dream. When I moved to Los Angeles, my dream was to be in a band and play guitar. And when once I got to LA, then I realized, maybe I don't want to do that anymore. But I did jiu-jitsu at the time. I'd been training jiu-jitsu probably about 2 or 3 years by the time I moved to LA. But I knew I wanted to train jiu-jitsu. But did I want to run a school? No, that was never really in my goals. Did I want to fight? No. I wanted to know how to fight, want to learn how to fight. But at the end of the day, I don't really like to fight. It's not something I get a charge out of. It's not something that makes me go, ooh, yeah, I'm fighting, and I don't want the accolades and the adulation that comes from being a successful fighter. I just I'm not wired like that. So the ego part never really affected me in the way that I see it affecting a lot of people. So there are two ways to look at ego. One is healthy, one is unhealthy. That whole check your ego at the door and don't go hard and all that kind of stuff, I think it's semi-helpful, but at the end, it's not really all that helpful. So how is understanding your ego helpful? Well, if you have an ego, then you have a little bit of pride in yourself. Now, let's not get into religious debates on whether pride is a good or a bad thing. I just look at it as doing a job well. And if you do a job the best that you can, then you have something to be proud about. Now, some people can say, well, you should be making it a matter of fact that you're just always working hard and always trying to be your best. And I agree. But a lot of times we get into funks where we don't really work as hard or as diligently as we should, and we catch ourselves later on. Well, having a healthy ego, what it does is it tells you to be better. And it tells you to try harder. When you're in the academy and you're looking to learn and get good at jiu-jitsu, you shouldn't be messing around. You should be practicing. And when you're not practicing, you should be learning. And you should be asking questions. Well, what if I do this? Or what if the guy does this? Or how does this work? Or what's next, coach, for me to work on? Those are what you should be concentrating on when you're in the academy. And the ego comes into play when you do a job well done, and your coach, your training partners, who just come up to you and go, hey Ryan, you know, that was really good. That training session we had was really good. I couldn't get shit on you, and you could just pretty much take whatever you want. So then I'd be like, yeah, okay, so now that's validation. I guess you can use it to fortify a healthy ego, but at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, okay, well, thanks for the feedback. I really appreciate it. So now you know you're heading in the right direction. It's nothing to get overjoyed about, nothing to get elated about, but it is something to consider. And you having a healthy ego makes you push. Because if you truly didn't have any ego, you really wouldn't care. So when people say check your ego at the door, they're just saying stuff. They're just saying random things that they feel like saying, that think it sounds good at the moment, but in reality, it may or may not be appropriate. So what you want to do is just say, okay, I'm not going to have an unhealthy ego. I'm not going to use it to where I have to beat everybody every time. I'm not going to go and train with somebody who is less good than me, less proficient than me, and I'm just going to smash them and let them know who's boss. You know, that's an unhealthy ego. On the other hand, if you want to take pride in the work that you're doing, then that ego will help drive you to success. You need to have a healthy ego, otherwise you won't have any success in anything, right? You have to think to yourself, I want to be good at this. Now, this is not necessarily good compared to someone else. This is good compared to you yesterday, which is very important. You know, this journey that you're on, and that's getting to be kind of a cliche too, about how jiu-jitsu is a journey. A lot of people, they say it, but they don't really know what it means. They don't know what it entails. So the way I put it is this way. Your experience in jiu-jitsu is uniquely your own. It is not anybody else's experience. So at the end of the day, you're going to be responsible for everything you do in life and in jiu-jitsu, just like we are normally. So that being the case, if you're going to be taking on something that you want to learn, if you're going to be putting time into it, spend the time to be good at it. Don't just go in there and just, as you know, fuck around, for whatever, you know, lack of a better term I can think of, and just go to socialize. Now, of course, you know, I know a lot of people who do come into jiu-jitsu just to socialize because maybe they don't have the set of friends outside of jiu-jitsu that they have inside of jiu-jitsu. So it would make sense that they'd want to be around the academy more often. Okay, I get that. But while you're there, train, drill, do hard drilling, do everything you can to make yourself better. And if you trust me on this, then you will be happier, because now you've got success, and success will breed happiness for you. So anyway, I hope that kind of helped you. If it helped you, then please feel free to pass it along to somebody else. You can come join us online at kamajujitsu.com. Just go ahead and sign up on our website for our online curriculum. You can also come to one of our academies, and you can visit us at Kama Jiu-Jitsu in Dallas-Fort Worth, which is in Flower Mound, or you can visit us at our California headquarters in Orange County and Laguna Hills. At any rate, thank you for watching this long, and if you did watch this long, please feel free to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, because probably only about 20% of our viewers are actually subscribed. And if you like these videos, then subscribing and liking will help to push more opportunities for our videos to get in front of other people just like you. That's all I got. Take care. Happy training. Bye now.